The most remarkable moment in life is when you meet the person who makes you feel complete. The person who makes the world a beautiful and magical place. The person with whom you share a bond so special that it transcends normal relationships and becomes something so wonderful that you can't imagine spending another day of your life without them.
I came to find out about Chief's existence when I was about 10 years old. And I went to see one of our aunts, Auntie Nasima. She was at university at the time. And she was one of the only aunties from my father's side of the family that I could choose to go and visit whenever I wanted to. So I went to see her. And I think I was about 10 years old. And she pulls out a picture. Says, "Oh, by the way, you have a brother." I was like, at that time, I thought I was the only one. And I think she showed me a picture, and that's when I got to find out that I have a brother and a sister, so it was Chief and Jackie. So my inheritance in one swoop. So for me, obviously I lived in Ghana, Chief lived in the US, and for me, he was always far away. He was in another land, always far away, but I had a brother. So anyway, I left Ghana around the age of 13. And as I grew up, as Facebook became a thing, we reached out to each other. I can't even remember how, but we reached out to each other and connected. And a few messages here and there. And it was a case of, I always wondered what kind of a person he was. He was a smart, thoughtful young man. And for me, I thought, that's one box ticks at least. And then fast forward, as life would have it, we were thrown into a highly pressured situation when I finally got to meet Chief when our father passed away. And we were thrown into this pressure cooker. All the siblings were thrown into this highly pressured environment. And then I got to find out the other side of Chief, constant comedian. I thought, here's a complete human being. And I fell in love with Chief as my brother. And I said to myself, we missed our childhood, but it's almost like we reconnected and we got the best of. It's almost like fine wine. We discovered each other at the right time without him stealing my car and borrowing my clothes, although he would have borrowed my clothes up to the age of about 10 and that would have been it. So I fell in love with the brother that I met in that highly pressurized environment. And then Kolleen came into our life. and then they all went to shit. Sorry. I trusted Chief. The Chief that I met in Texas, and obviously we've built a relationship since then. The Chief that I met in Texas, I trusted his instinct. I knew that Chief was able to make good choices. So when I saw Kolleen, I didn't have to go and do investigation like typical Africans would do. Find out where she's from, who she knows. I'm speaking to my Auntie Martha, where is she? So I believed in Chief's choices. And Kolleen has turned out to be everything that I hoped for. Kolleen is a lovely person, and I wish you guys the best of luck in this journey that you've decided to embark on. I'm 10 years deep in marriage, and one advice I would have for you is happy wife, happy life. Just keep nodding. Just keep nodding, and you do just fine. So I'd like all of you to raise a toast to my young big brother, to Chief and Kolleen. Wishing you the best, wishing you happiness, wishing you many kids. We are Africans. I have to drop it in there. Auntie Martha sent me for that one. So that's it. To my young big brother and Kolleen, best of luck.
We all travel through this life on our own journeys. Sometimes seem easier than others, and sometimes we are so focused on craziness around us that we fail to understand a few core facts. None of us are invincible, none of us can do it alone, and none of us have adequately praised The Office for its comedic genius.
It's so true.
We spend so much time running, we lose sight of the person next to us trying their hardest to survive. Sometimes what ends up happening is we stumble, sometimes we fall. In those moments, some of us are lucky enough for someone to realize and stop, only to find that we've been meant to run towards them this whole time. Neither of us is perfect. I wrote my vows 3 days ago, and you've been buying things for this wedding since before I proposed. Together, we have built a balance and something that I will forever be grateful for. Through all of the madness and all of the experiences, you have grounded me in something solid. Your ability to play TikTok videos at full volume, even though I'm watching TV right beside you. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for providing me with something and someone I can feel safe within. Because Lord knows that I attempt to carry the weight of the world with me on a daily, and even though everyone here sees a smile, you put the pieces together when I begin to crumble. Here we are, neither of us are able to run physically, and in a few minutes, literally. I promise to love you endlessly. I promise to continue our adventures. I promise to work through our disagreements. I promise to choose you every day for the rest of my days. I promise to go to some craft fairs, even though I'll kick and scream the entire time there, but I'll shut up when you feed me, today, tomorrow, and forever.
Kolleen, do you take Gerald to be your husband, to love and comfort him, to root for the Yankees, Giants, and Knicks, for better or worse, to give him time and space to play his video games in peace, in sickness and in health, for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Gerald, do you take Kolleen to be your wife, to love and comfort her when she needs a nap, to go on random adventures with her without question or sarcastic comments, for better or worse, in sickness and in health, for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Wonderful.
As I'm sure you all know, Kolleen and Gerald share a love that distance could not break. They spent the first few years of their relationship living in different states, traveling back and forth on weekends just to spend time together. Yes, it was difficult for them to be apart, but they recognized something in one another and made the decision to actively choose each other every single day. That is a cornerstone of marriage. I remember the day that Kolleen told me Gerald was finally able to move back to Florida. She was so excited, and I was so excited to be the third wheel. But technically, when we're all together, Gerald is the third wheel. Kolleen, I'm truly blessed to have you as my best friend. And I don't say that lightly. You are the best friend I have and will ever have. In the years that we have been friends, I've witnessed the good and the bad, the love, the optimism, the very bad, the tears from loss, and the tears from laughter. And through all of that, you somehow always stayed strong. And eventually the love you deserve found you. Stop crying, you're making this awkward. I have no doubt that you will be an amazing wife, which brings me to the man marrying my best friend, Gerald. You are also amazing, as Kolleen has chosen you to be her partner in life. Not only has she trusted you with her heart, but she has also trusted you with the heart of her firstborn. From the very beginning, you proved through action that you could be and are an amazing father. You know firsthand the kind of woman Kolleen is. She has a huge heart that is very forgiving to everyone she loves. She's kind and supportive, and she thinks she's really funny. Be real. Now, I have only been married for 4 months, so my marriage advice is very limited. But this little piece is important. The person who cooks should never do the dishes. So Kolleen, put your gloves on. She's working on it. I'm trying. Here's to Gerald and Kolleen. May your marriage be filled with love, effective communication, and tons of laughter that fulfills you even on the hardest of days. May you live happily ever dagger, Cheers.
By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife.
But I didn't fall in love with you. I walked into love with you, with my eyes wide open, choosing to take every step along the way, and I would choose you over and over again, in 100 lifetimes, in any universe. You came back into my life when I least expected it, and you turned my world upside down in the best way possible. You accepted Q as your own, and we built such a strong foundation, even though we were 742 miles apart for most of it. Although it wasn't an easy journey, I would not want to be on this ride with anyone else. You've been a lot of things to me over this past 20 years. An acquaintance, a friend, a teacher, a lover, a partner, and now, your best title yet, with the exception of Dad, you are my husband. And when our kids say that they're soulmates, that their parents are soulmates, they'll be right about that. And yes, that was an Office reference. I promise to love and support you, even when you could afford to be more right. I promise to always be your best friend, even on days we may not like each other a whole lot. I promise to try not to bother you too much when you're playing your video games. I promise to share the weighted blanket. And most of all, I promise to be as loyal to you as you are to the New York Knicks. And always remember, marriage ain't for punks. I love you endlessly, forever and always.